then you have to get them in some, you have to get in through some other angle. And so a good angle to go in through is to say Alexander Grothendieck, right? They'll start listening because it has anything to do with Alexander Grothendieck. They must listen. Okay, so I mean, he invented shift toposes, okay? And what happens there is slightly different. You yourself said, well, in math, things are just true or false, okay? But we can try to make this notion of truth a little more refined. So for instance, it rains, something like it rains, is obviously dependent on location and time. So it's not a mathematical statement in itself that you could interpret. You will have to start explaining, oh, but I meant it rains here and now and blah, 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 and at this point, space-time point, and so on. And you say, well, okay, we could do that, but we could also maybe start to think about the fact that if I have some, so let's literally take some very geometric example. Let's take temperature on Earth, okay? And now I want to explain to you constructive mathematics using temperature on Earth. So what is temperature on Earth? Well, naively, temperature is a real number, right? It's 7 degrees outside or whatever it is, okay? But if you look at a slightly bigger picture, it's actually one number per location on Earth. So it's actually a function on a sphere. If you pretend that the Earth is a sphere. The Earth is a sphere. Every point has a temperature. So it's a scalar field on Earth. So it's some sort of a function. Now, it's also reasonable to assume that this function doesn't have sudden jumps. So it's continuous. It's a nice function, which tells you for each location on Earth, what is the temperature there. So if you now say the temperature is greater than 7 degrees, you get a region on Earth where the temperature is greater than 7 degrees. And if I say the temperature is exactly equal to 0, then you'll get some sort of line of like these. I mean, you've seen maps, right, where there are lines of equal altitude, and you can do the same. So the same is going to happen. So you will have regions where something happens. And so you can now say, oh, okay, so truth statements about temperature, they're not just true or false. The interesting bit is, where are they true or false? That's the interesting bit.